Why is there a different standard? I don't care. Okay, he's old. You don't think you can get a conviction. You don't want to put him up on a jury stand. I think that's actually what it's about, ladies and gentlemen. They don't want to put him on a jury stand. They don't, because it's not going to be a good look. I mean, remember when everything was going down with his son and the lawyers were warning each other, and one of the points that they made was it's really not going to be a great thing to have the President of the United States up on a jury stand trying to defend his son. So they were trying to make this neat and clean and make it go away. I mean, is it me, or is that exactly what was kind of going on here? I mean, for all his intelligence, I just don't get it. I think he probably was being very honest. He didn't think he could get a conviction, but that doesn't mean you're off the hook. I mean, the guy's guilty. That's what he said. He's absolutely guilty, and yet he gets away with it. I don't think that's right. That's not the way it should be. I mean, he is failing. He is failing. I don't know how you... I mean, some of the transcripts I've read, did you see the part about the Corvette where he's so proud? Joe Biden is so proud that he has this Corvette, but he only drives it in the driveway, apparently. And he talks about how it can go like 7 miles an hour in the driveway, and he starts going vroom, vroom, like a little kid. I mean, I gotta tell you, my little guy, my little boy, like when he was like 3, he had one of those bright yellow plastic Ferraris that you could drive in the driveway, and he'd make sounds like vroom, vroom. I mean, it kind of, once again, speaks to the aging health of the President of the United States, because, you know, as you get older, you tend to regress. And this seems like one of those moments where he's regressing. We've seen these recently. I mean, hey, he pulled some cat out of the bag at the State of the Union the other night. I don't know what was involved in that, but here he is on a more normal day. This was the day before the State of the Union. Watch.
I have a lot of questions. I better not start the questions. I'll get in trouble.
What's your message for Super Tuesday voters? Everyone please move this way. Super Tuesday, Sam, do you have a message for voters?
Thanks, come on. Thank you so much. Thank you all.
Is it not a little bit alarming? I mean, it's frightening, the state that he is in. Indeed. And Mad Max, thank you so much. Oh my goodness, you guys are so generous tonight. You like your independent creators. That is so awesome. So I appreciate it. And I thank you all for liking this. I see Don's on your case, and we've got Carmen on your case to make sure you like and share. But Mad Max, thank you very much. Look, to answer your question, you said they get away with the double standard because we in America, we let them get away with it. Yeah, and that's why things have to change. I'm going to talk about Lara Trump and what she's doing at the RNC, which I wholly support in just a moment, but she gets it. It has to change. Like, I think so many of us, you're watching here, you understand that it has to change. It's not right. And they're doubling down in ways that I think are, frankly, pretty, you know, they talk about, oh, he's so dangerous. He's dangerous for democracy. Let me tell you, Joe Biden and the Democrats are dangerous for this great republic. And I know that because I know how they're trying to manipulate and effectively squash certain pieces of information. And heck, we've been seeing it ever since, oh, let's go back to 2020. I mean, go back even further, right? Go back to 2016 and 2017. He comes into office, and Hillary Clinton and the rest of them want you to think that somehow he's only there because the Russians ensured that he would be there. I mean, think about that. What a crazy, insane thing to say. So insane that Jimmy Carter, who probably had dementia at the time, if he doesn't now, Jimmy Carter said that up on stage with John McEacham, who's an MSNBC historian. And he said, yep, I'm pretty sure this is not a legitimate president. He said it's not a legitimate president because the Russians stole the election. I mean, this is what they were pushing, guys, all right? So, you know, Mad Max, you're right. It's not fair. We let him get away with it. We can't let him get away with it because this is a country, and last I checked, we have this handy Constitution, which, yes, I keep on my desk. or by my night table. Because, you got to remind yourself from time to time these days. It's that insane. So I agree with you. We can't let them get away with it. And I think that 2024 is going to be about a lot of that. And so we'll get into that, and we'll talk about what Lara's doing to try and really shore things up because, hey, we got our work cut out for us, all right? And I say that as somebody who, let me just point out, like, if the Democrats had good policy, if they wanted to cut taxes, if they wanted to lessen regulation, if they wanted to give more back to the small business owners and the individuals that are out there creating for our economy, if they wanted to have an actual border, if they wanted to encourage choice in education, vouchers in education, if they actually wanted to have a strong military, you notice his budget that came out just yesterday actually cuts military spending. If they wanted to have a strong military while simultaneously not getting us involved in every single conflict that comes around, what, for the benefit of who? The military industrial complex? Don't get me started. I mean, listen, if they actually cared about some of these core issues, like they pretend to, and in the past had said they did, then hey, you know what? I might be on board. I like to think that I'm not entirely partisan. I don't have to just vote for one side. Trump said this actually just yesterday on CNBC. I thought it was terrific. He made the point that he's just practical. And that's the truth of it. I think most Americans are just practical. So how many Democrats have I talked to that said they're voting for Trump or they voted for Trump last time around? Because you know what? He represents values that they think are important for the country. You look at the unions today, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, the union chief, the big deal UAW, wow, they've admitted, some of these union chiefs have actually come out and admit, one of them admitted it on my former colleague Neil Cavuto's show on Fox, that they're supporting President Biden, the union's supporting President Biden, but he said our members are not going to vote for him because you guys aren't helping them. Like people need government to look out for the people. And when you say we're going to fly in 320,000 people from across the border in the dead of the night to cities and not even tell the cities that they're getting them, that's not helping the people. It's not helping the people when you say, okay, we're going to tax more because we're going to go after billionaires. But you're not really going after the billionaires, Joe, because guess what? All your private equity friends that donate big time to your campaign, they get that private equity fat cat tax loophole. So they're actually never going to have to spend as much proportionally of their income in taxes as, say, the couple that makes $401,000 because you've chosen that as a magical number. You will suppress the middle class. You've done it already, buddy. And you know what? The middle class is saying, we've had it. We've had enough. You're not protecting us. You're not caring about our communities.